Picture a factory so massive a jumbo jet could land on its roof, yet so precise it spits out a brand new SUV every 40 seconds. That's Giga Texas, Elon Musk's machine that builds the machine, and the reason every legacy automaker on Earth is suddenly sweating through its dress shirt. From the outside, it looks like a glossy, oversized shoebox stranded in the Texas desert. But step inside and the scale hits like a tidal wave. You're greeted by an ocean of conveyor belts, gliding under cathedral-height ceilings, metallic arms flicking car parts through the air with the grace of orchestra conductors. No coffee breaks, no shift whistles, just endless choreography powered by lines of code. At the heart of this mechanical city is speed. Traditional plants juggle hundreds of separate body panels, welding them together piece by painstaking piece. Giga Texas laughs at that. Giant presses stamp entire front and rear frames in a single earth-shaking blow, leaving rival factories to wonder how their century-old assembly lines became Stone Age relics overnight. The result? Cars roll off the line so quickly that by the time you finish this sentence, another Model Y has already appeared, spotless and software-ready. But raw speed is only half the story. Every bolt twist, every paint droplet, every micrometer of alignment is logged in real time, feeding a sprawling neural network that never sleeps. If a robot arm drifts a hair off target, the system corrects in milliseconds and remembers, so the mistake never shows up again. It's a self-teaching organism wearing a factory's skin, and it's scaling faster than software updates. On a smartphone, this isn't a production line. It's an industrial supercomputer that just happens to kick out cars. And that shocking efficiency is rewriting the rules of global manufacturing before the world's eyes. Meet the Gigapress, the 10,000-ton metal monster that turned old-school auto bodywork into child's play. Imagine a machine so strong it can squeeze out the entire rear frame of a Model Y in one thunderous punch, a force equal to 2,000 full-grown elephants stomping in perfect unison. Traditional factories need dozens of stamped panels, miles of welding wire, and armies of workers to do that same job. The Gigapress just slams molten aluminum into a mold, cools it in seconds, and spits out a single flawless casting ready for paint. Fewer parts, fewer welds, fewer chances for anything to rattle or squeak, quality baked in at birth. But brute strength isn't its only trick. Speed is the secret sauce. While a conventional line spends hours marrying subcomponents, this press cycles every couple of minutes, feeding robots an uninterrupted flow of chassis sections. That pace threads directly into Tesla's 40-second final assembly cadence, letting the factory treat SUVs like social media posts, created, polished, and published before the algorithm gets bored. The Gigapress also slashes costs: less steel, less labor, less time on the floor, so the savings flow straight into lower prices or fatter research budgets, whichever keeps competitors up at night. And because every squeeze is monitored by a web of sensors, the press literally teaches itself. Pressure curves, cooling rates, microscopic deformities, all translated into data that tweaks the next cycle in real time. It's the first hard part you could call self-optimizing, and it turns manufacturing from an art of compromise into a science of iteration. In short, the Gigapress isn't a tool. It's Tesla's industrial cheat code, and the rest of the auto world just felt the level jump. With dozens of these giants planned for future lines, the era of patchwork car frames is closing, and the one-piece, data-driven future just roared to life in Austin. Now step onto the factory floor, where the employees don't breathe, blink, or break for lunch. Towering orange arms swivel with balletic precision, welding seams so clean they could pass a mirror test. Overhead, a swarm of spider-like bots ride rail tracks, darting between stations to deliver parts just in time. No idle seconds, no random traffic jams. This is Tesla's robotic army, and it never sleeps. Each unit is wired into the same neural hive mind. Cameras, torque sensors, and LiDAR feed a live torrent of data to an AI overseer that spots micro errors before a human eye could even focus. A spray paint nozzle drifts a single millimeter? The system adjusts voltage, angle, and airflow in the next stroke. Problem solved. Lesson learned. Incident archived. Every cycle makes the next one smarter, turning the entire line into a self-evolving organism. Humans still roam the aisles, but their role has morphed from muscle to mastermind. Engineers walk around with tablets, not wrenches, conducting symphonies of motion by tweaking code on the fly. One tapper routes an AGV convoy, another upgrades a robot's pathfinding algorithm. No downtime, no shouting across the shop floor. If something breaks, predictive analytics usually flagged it hours earlier and queued a fix before anyone fetched a toolbox. And here's the chilling part for rivals. The AI doesn't just learn inside Austin's walls. Every Tesla factory shares its discoveries overnight, meaning a lesson gleaned from a robot in Texas quietly upgrades its cousins in Berlin and Shanghai while the world sleeps. This cross-continental brain meld is the true disruptor,
a factory which itself is an example of super
human
technology.
Experience into software updates that drop weekly. In short, Giga Texas isn't hiring more workers. It's cloning mastery at silicon speed, and that revelation has legacy manufacturers scrambling to rewrite their own future, one hesitant firmware patch at a time. Forget punching a clock. Giga Texas doesn't even own one. The place runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 straight. No bell rings, no lights flicker, and no foreman yells shift change. Instead, a lattice of cameras, thermal probes, and ultrasonic mix turns every square inch into living telemetry. That live feed funnels into a digital nerve center. Think of it as the factory's brainstem, where algorithms watch, predict, and correct in real time. If a hydraulic line jitters outside its normal vibration range, the system flags it instantly, reroutes pressure to a redundant loop,
That miracle.
and schedules
This
a
factory has become a
micro-maintenance slot
challenge.
before anyone on-site even notices a hiccup. Conveyor belts carry RFID-tagged parts that update their exact location, torque history, and temperature every second. A single encoder slip, and the AI triggers a soft brake,
Factories.
realigns,
Tesla
and
built a
spins
plant based on
everything back up to speed so smoothly that operators seldom realize anything happened. But here's where it gets freaky. The plant actually heals itself. Backup robots sit stage like relief pitchers. If arm A goes offline, arm B glides over, picks up the sequence, and the line never drops tempo. Autonomous guided vehicles chat in their own mesh network, rerouting on the fly when a corridor clogs. No horns, no human traffic cop. Fluids, power, and data all loop through failsafe circuits, creating an industrial version of a redundant heartbeat. The payoff: downtime measured in seconds per month, defect rates near statistical
factory
noise,
built in the
and
same
a
Texas
production
desert,
tempo
which we
so
call
smooth it feels uncanny, like watching a live stream from
today.
2035.
So the next time you see a
Legacy
Tesla car,
factories plan around stoppages. This one insulates itself from them. Giga Texas doesn't merely survive
are being
glitches.
made in this Tesla
It
factory, and
digests
how
them and
4,000
improves, turning every near miss into fresh code. That's why rivals can copy the hardware but still lag behind. They're fighting a learning curve that literally never sleeps.
680
So what
battery cells
exactly
are made
rolls
here.
out of this
First of
mechanical
all,
beehive? Start with the Model Y, Tesla's family-friendly SUV that still corners like a sports car. Built on those single-piece castings, it exits the line already. Laser-aligned, paint-cured,
let's talk about
and
Model
firmware
Y. This
uploaded.
is Tesla's
Within
best-selling
minutes of birth,
SUV,
it's on
and
the
it was
test
first
track.
made in
Streaming diagnostics to engineers who can push an OTA tweak before the wheels stop spinning. Rivals take days to reach that stage. Giga Texas does it before lunch. But the real showstopper is the Cybertruck, that stainless steel polygon critics called a movie prop until they saw it in person. In Austin, a dedicated cold roll lane shapes its bullet-resistant exoskeleton, bypassing traditional paint entirely. Robots weld under a crystal curtain of inert gas to keep oxygen away, so the seams stay flawless silver. The end result: a truck that can shrug off hail the size of baseballs and still outrun most German sedans. Next comes the Tesla Semi, a 100% electric big rig built for long-haul annihilation. Its cab is molded like a fighter jet canopy, drivers sit center stage, and the 4,680 battery packs load low and flat for insane stability. Every time a Semi leaves the dock, It fires data back to the plant gradient curves, regen efficiency, tire wear fueling software updates that spread across the entire fleet by morning. Where diesel trucks guzzle profit, this one learns and gets cheaper to operate each mile, and looming just offstage is the rumored Model 2, Tesla's sub-$25,000 disruptor. By transplanting Cybertrucks' stainless techniques and semis battery tech into a compact frame, Musk aims to mint an EV that undercuts gasoline compacts on price while slaughtering them on range. For wildly different vehicles, one shared advantage: a factory that treats hardware like updatable apps. Every model benefits from every other's breakthroughs, so the lineup evolves in lockstep, and competitors suddenly feel like they're chasing not one car but a swarm.
Electric cars mainstream.
If the Gigapress is Tesla's muscle, the 4,680 cell is its beating heart, bigger, stronger, and built to rewrite every range chart you've ever seen. Picture a battery the size of a small thermos, but packed with a chemistry overhaul that lifts energy density by about 30% while slashing internal resistance. Translation: more miles, less heat, faster charge, lower cost. Traditional cylindrical cells rely on miles of skinny tabs that bottleneck current like toll booths. The 4,680 erases those tabs altogether, letting electrons sprint freely through a solid sheet of foil. That single tweak turns a charging session from a coffee break into a quick stretch, but capacity is only half the flex. Structural batteries for 680 packs that double as part of the car's spine ditch bulkhead metal and welding all together.
But the size of the 4,680 cell is bigger.
Castings and the chassis stiffens. Crash strength rises and weight melts away. The entire skateboard becomes an energy reservoir, not a dead hunk of ballast. Building that pack inside Giga Texas means cells travel mere yards from formation to final installation, shaving logistics costs to the bone. Then there's longevity.
It can run for a longer distance
Tesla's
after
nickel-rich cathode design trades pricey cobalt for silicon tweaks, and proprietary electrolyte goo that resists lithium plating. Lab numbers hint at 1 million mile lifespans,
Giga Texas is no longer just a factory,
until you realize robo-taxi fleets will cycle batteries daily. When the pack finally does fade, those fewer, fatter cells make automated disassembly of breeze raw metals loop straight back into the Gigafactory.
Its life is very long, meaning it works for years without any problem. Not only
the upshot, 4680 sliced thousands off the bill of materials, unlock smaller, cheaper cars like the forthcoming Model 2, and still scale up for behemoths like the Semi. It's the rare breakthrough that fattens margins while dropping sticker prices, and that one-two punch may hit legacy automakers harder than any press release ever could. Scale has always been the mode in automotive, but Giga Texas just bulldozed the castle and built a skyscraper on top. Elon Musk's public target is to million vehicles a year from this single plant, roughly one car every 15 seconds around the clock. That's larger than the total annual output of some entire legacy brands. And it's coming from a building that didn't even exist 5 years ago. The shockwave has CEOs canceling golf rounds,
and all this is happening in such an automated and high-tech manner that
if Tesla hits that number, price wars are inevitable and most rivals can't survive them
giving
for
us
long.
glimpses of the coming tomorrow.
You can feel
Tesla's production capacity
Ford fast tracks its Blue Oval City project. VW Inc.'s battery joint ventures like its speed dating, and GM retools decades-old factories into zero-emission hubs, while quietly begging chip suppliers for priority status. Yet they're still chained to 20th century playbooks, batch production, supplier silos, and labor contracts written when pagers were cutting edge. Giga Texas skips that baggage entirely. Raw aluminum rolls in one door. Finished cars glide out the other, and AI stitches the whole process into a single self-optimizing algorithm.
Just fast production.
It's the first automotive supply chain designed to behave like cloud software, scalable on demand, patched overnight, and shock-resistant by default. That software mindset lets Tesla weaponize volume in ways competitors never imagined. When the line hits a new throughput record, the margin savings funnel straight into price cuts, or, more insidiously, supercharger expansion in your backyard, starving slower brands of oxygen. Meanwhile, every car leaving Austin joins a rolling sensor network that loops data back into the factory, to refine production further, creating an acceleration feedback loop legacy players can't match with spreadsheets and quarterly reviews. Musk isn't just redefining mass production. He's turning it into an evolving organism, and the global auto hierarchy is about to discover how fast evolution can hurt a factory. This colossal should belch smoke and rattle windows, but Giga Texas barely leaves a footprint. Its roof is a shimmering sea of solar panels, generating upwards of 30 megawatts on peak days, enough to power a small city while offsetting the plant's own draw. Any surplus dives straight into on-site megapacks, which flatten demand spikes and let production keep humming when the Texas grid groans under summer heat. Fossil fuel peaker plants? Not invited. Water, another industrial Achilles heel, loops through a closed-circuit reclamation maze.
Volkswagen are now changing their EV plans. Many companies are trying to build back
towers that scrub impurities and pipe the same H2O back into circulation. That slashes freshwater intake by roughly 80% versus conventional automotive plants, turning what used to be wastewater into a perpetually recycled resource. Think of it as a liquid assembly line running parallel to the metal one. Both relentless, both waste diverse, even logistics got a green rewrite. Cybertrucks and semis shuttle parts across the sprawl, their battery packs recharged by the rooftop sun they just drove beneath. Inside, autonomous pallet movers sip electrons from inductive floor chargers, gliding silently along lanes bordered by living green walls. Those walls are an aesthetic fluff. They trap particulate matter, stabilize humidity, and keep the facility several degrees cooler, trimming thick load and electricity bills in one chlorophyll-powered swoop. Zoom out and the plant fits Musk's master plan. Part 3 inches like a glove. Prove you can scale heavy industry without torching the planet. Carbon accountants estimate each Model Y built here leaves the line with a cradle-to-gate footprint already 15% lower than its Fremont cousin, and the delta widens as the solar acreage grows. Giga Texas isn't just boosting EV adoption, it's dismantling the excuse that large-scale manufacturing must be dirty. In an era where sustainability metrics sway both investors and regulators, the cleantech halo may be Tesla's most unassailable competitive edge. Robots used to be background extras in sci-fi. At Giga Texas, they're the headline
and autonomous driving.
Meet Optimus,
and Giga Texas has
Tesla's
become the command center of this
prototype, now stalking the same corridors where Model Es are born. Equal in height to an adult human, yet lighter on its feet.
Even more than that,
Optimus
because
trains
Tesla
on the
is not just making cars.
fire hose.
Now it is also
Every
trying its hand in back.
Torque curves, conveyor rhythms, pallet weights. That stream teaches the robot to walk heel to toe on polished concrete, balance while lifting battery trays, even twist its torso to dodge a passing AGVL without an operator's joystick. The goal, a machine worker that plugs straight into Tesla's existing AI nervous system and learns factory etiquette faster than a Tempire. Optimus isn't built from pretty plastic. Its exoskeleton is a cocktail of aerospace alloys and high-impact composites, wrapped around actuators derived from Model 3's electric powertrain. That part's crossover slashes costs, and it means the robot's arms flex with the same torque density that hustles a sedan to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds. Inside, the chest beats a modified FSD computer-crunching multimodal vision, so the bot recognizes color-coded tubs, flashing safety beacons, and even a human hand signal telling it to pause. Early tasks are humble: tote parts between cells, sort, scrap, audit inventory.
Not just
but
brand.
every completed
and Tesla
run
is currently
adds to
running
a
ahead in
cloud-based
this.
memory
In the
banks
future, when
accessible
people see
to every Optimus unit worldwide. One robot stumble in Austin becomes a firmware patch for its sibling in Berlin by morning. Think of it as collective evolution on Wi-Fi. Musk's long game is domestic, a household Optimus folding laundry, mowing lawns, or running post-charge night shifts inside solar-powered microfactories. Each new capability discovered on the industrial floor cascades into consumer value, exactly the feedback loop
Europe,
that made
Asia,
smartphones
and all the other big
ubiquitous.
markets.
So when you glimpse Optimus gliding past
they will not wonder where this car was
remember,
made. They will say,
this
is the car of the next era.
It's Tesla
beta
is testing a workforce that could scale faster than any human labor pool, and it's happening in real time, right next to the Gigapress. Stand back and look at the whole picture because Giga Texas isn't a factory. It's a prophecy made of steel, circuits, and sunlight.
Shows a new way of how a big
Inside
industry
its
can work in
walls,
harmony with nature.
cars build
Elon
data,
Musk
data
has
builds
always dreamed
robots,
that not only
and
the V leaves all
build
these
the
things
next
behind,
generation
because this
of
factory
everything.
does not just
On
make cars.
wheels.
It should.
The result is an industrial feedback loop, so tight it feels alive. Each Model Y streaming rode Intel straight into servers that tweak the stamping press.
Smoke,
Every
noise,
Optimus
and
simulating
pollution.
millions
But Tesla's
of pick
Giga
and
Texas
place moves that shave
factory
seconds off tomorrow's cycle time. It's the same playbook that turns
vehicles should
smartphones
be electric,
into pocket
but the way they are being
supercomputers
made
now
should also
ported
be
to
sustainable.
15 football fields of assembly lines. Legacy automakers still talk horsepower.
Therefore,
Tesla
while
talks
designing
code,
Giga Texas,
while
it was
rivals
kept in
haggle
mind
over
from the
sourcing
beginning
and
that this
rebates. Austin's algorithms debug production in real time, pushing
being
over
created
the air
inside
updates
Giga Texas
that
every
ripple
day,
across
every
continents
hour,
before
every
dawn.
second.
That software
talk
mindset means Giga Texas scales like the internet, not a smokestack.
About a big
2 million
factory,
cars
the first
today.
thing that comes
Fine.
to our mind
3
is
million tomorrow? Just feed the model more aluminum and electrons. No billion-dollar retool required.
also remain in
And
balance.
here's the wild
Tesla's mission is
card. Every breakthrough inside these walls, structural batteries, one-piece castings, humanoid labor leaps disciplines.
it shows that
Aerospace teams
technology
borrow
and
battery
environment are not
chemistries.
enemies of each other.
Energy storage engineers adopt Gigapress principles. Consumers eventually wake up with a home robot that learned to walk beside Cybertrucks on the factory floor.
If there is the
lines
right
between
thinking,
carmaker,
then it should work on
AI
zero
lab,
carbon emission,
and
meaning
clean
as
energy
little pollution
utility
as
blur
possible,
until
and
they
as much
vanish.
green. Now let's talk
leaving
about the
one
big challenges
sprawling
faced
tech
in building this
ecosystem
factory.
with a single
First of all,
address,
the choice
Giga
of land.
Texas.
Musk wanted a
So the next time you spot a Tesla silently gliding past a gas pump, remember that vehicle
not just
isn't
electricity,
just
a
electric,
water
it's a node
even
in a
then,
living network.
the construction of
pulsing
Giga
back
Texas,
to a
when the whole
desert
world was
colossus
shut
that
down,
never blinks.
people were at home. The
Factories
supply
once
chain
chased
had stopped.
economies
There
of
was no
scale.
problem of
This one
electricity and
chases
water,
exponential
and where the surrounding
intelligence.
policies
And if
supported the
history
EV
is
industry.
any guide,
Austin,
the rest
Texas
of the world will either adapt to that pace or end up watching from the rearview mirror. This video is independent commentary and is not endorsed by Tesla, Inc. The views expressed are opinions based on publicly available info as of June 2025. Nothing here is financial or engineering advice. Do your own research.